Hey there, AfterBuzzers. We are back, and as promised, we have a very special edition of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. This is our own tell-all show. We've got our favorite couples in the building. Miss Molly's here, along with Paola and Russ. The countdown begins. Let's go.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz
Dance party.
Molly, take this song. Good choice, Molly. Good choice.
Great summer song.
Right?
I'm feeling it.
Oh my God. We are back, ready for so much fun. Yes. Oh my goodness.
It's a 90-day party today.
It is.
It's really great to have you guys in studio, honestly.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Well, like I said, there's so much to get to and so little time, so we do want to make sure we have enough time to spend on our fabulous guests and not just fanboy, fangirl over them for the hour.
Okay, Keith. Okay.
Right?
We'll behave.
I am Keith Andre here.
Linda Antwi here.
Alex Bowers
Hey
here.
guys. Oh, hey guys. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. Hey, I'm Stacey Olives, and I'm so excited to be back in with everyone.
Yes.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Without further ado, we can show our guests. We've got Molly here. Thanks so much for coming.
We're excited.
One of my faves. And then, oh my gosh, y'all know this is my
Yeah,
couple.
this is y'all his.
Y'all know.
He loves y'all.
Yeah, so
honestly.
Paola and Russ are here. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah.
Let's jump in. Let's ask some
Okay,
questions.
let's get started. Well, I have to know. I mean, like I was telling you guys earlier, we're so invested in your stories. I feel like I know you a bit. So I wanted to check in. I mean, the tell-all is here. Mm-hmm. The season is done. How are you guys feeling? Like, how's life going now in these moments?
I feel great. I mean, here we are, able to just tell a little more about our story or whatever and just be with you guys out here in LA. Sunny LA. I was feeling that song coming up here because we're like, cruising along. I'm like, yeah.
And Russ and Pal, you guys?
Oh, well, it's been crazy the past few days. Mm-hmm. The tell-all is been crazy right now, and the drama is not non-stopping.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to have like a little break.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah,
That's right. A little break.
A little bit of breathing room for sure.
Right. Who wants to ask the first question?
I think I might.
Go.
Molly, I'm just gonna dive right in really quick. I want to know when you knew it was over for you and Luis. Like, we saw the music situation and then him trying to call the police, but was it on camera? Was that the moment you knew, or was it when you were off camera you just had a feeling?
I knew prior to that, which is why that situation had occurred, and that was the final, wow, it was really insane. So I knew then. I kind of knew before that, but I was trying so hard, and I was so invested in, this and wanting it to work, so I just kind of, how we do sometimes. Mm-hmm. So, but it was good, I'm good. I feel good, and so here we are.
And you look good.
You
look
amazing.
Molly.
Seriously.
Because we were a little worried because we kept talking about spiritually and mental health and everything that you've gone through. We were a little worried, and you seem amazing. Yeah. We've been watching your snaps and your Instagram stories, and you seem like you're just amazing. What was your healing process like?
I really was snap out of it, sister. My business has to keep moving. Women count on me every single day to help them feel better as well. So if I'm just in the dumps and I feel like it just shows strength, in what I do and who I am. And it took a lot of strength just to have this show anyway on your life. So it just gave me more power, I think.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've watched your show before years ago with my mom, the bras and everything. I used to honestly love it. So when I saw that you were on the show, I'm like, oh my God, that's the lady from, it was great, honestly. So you've been at it for a while.
I have.
Business first.
It is, and it's just something that, I have other people in other states that do the parties for women, and I want to open another store, and, I kind of had that as part of a platform from this too, things. Just here I am, and I fit bras because I'm kind of rare in my industry. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm a representative of my business, so that's probably why. And I was America's sweetheart, kind of, for that, and then we're saving all these people, and we offer such a judgment-free space with women. It doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, what size you are, transgenders, everything. We just open the door for all kinds of people. So I think that's why that following kind of transition over and stuff. But it's good.
That's good to hear.
Awesome. I'm going to jump into. So I was on Instagram this morning before the show, and I guess you guys have big news. So I want to say congratulations to you two. I was shocked. I was
Awesome. We were too.
but shocked in a great way.
Yeah.
How are you
We're
feeling about it?
Oh, we're really excited.
We're so excited.
We don't know what to expect or what to do, but we're just trying to enjoy every single day. And like, I don't know, I think this news is bringing us closer together. And like,
Good.
yeah, so it's helping a lot of our relationship.
Do you know the gender? of
Not
the
yet.
baby?
Not yet.
How did you let Russ know?
I was actually going to a class, fitness
Oh yeah,
class.
for the Zumba.
Yeah, that was a training that day, and I was like, well, I haven't had my period,
Yeah.
and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. It was crazy to do it
Yeah.
before I was leaving,
Right.
and so I was like, get out of the bathroom, and I'm like, I look at him like, I'm pregnant. I was in shock, like, and he was like, I don't know. It's like that moment, like, yeah,
can't
is it
describe
true
it?
or
Yeah.
not? But I was like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta do this, and I'm like, I can't cancel. But we were both in shock. Like, it's like you don't know. Of course, we're really happy, but it's like, wow, this happened so soon. That
Yeah, you
Just-
gotta settle
Do you want a
into it.
boy or girl? What are you hoping? For?
And so, did you guys know before you taped the tell-all or after?
I can't say that.
And the reason I ask is just because with Anfisa coming at you, it must have been
Yeah.
even scarier if you knew you were pregnant.
Yeah, we rather not to say that. We rather avoid that question.
Yeah, that makes sense. I
That
mean,
makes
I just
sense.
think, again, congratulations to you guys. When I look at the couples, I mean, you are one that you're deserving. And we always talk about, like, I wonder, is anybody going to have children? Or, how far they go with these relationships. So it's nice to see that. And I think it's good, too, because with the tell-all, there was this bit of drama with Anfisa. And I didn't even expect, that to come out of it.
Yeah.
How did you guys face that, just having to deal with drama from other
Couples.
Because you handled it really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting for her to stand up and actually try to hit me, but I don't know if she was expecting like for me to hit her first. But I was like, okay, you're gonna do it, just do it.
Yeah.
Stop just
Right.
pretending,
Yeah.
and just stop telling me. And I was telling her, you're gonna hit me, just go for it. But she didn't do anything. But I wasn't expecting for her that reaction.
Yeah.
I know that the past law, I did a big mistake, and I actually apologized after
Right.
I watched the show. I felt so bad, and like I look at myself and I was like, my God, this is not me. And I apologized with my fans, and I made a video and everything, but it still is haunting me.
Yeah.
And it's terrible because I'm not that person that people think I am. I'm not like that. I'm supporting all girls. I'm trying to help them, but I don't know. It's something between her and I that since day one, even before all this drama, like it was never a connection.
Yeah.
And like, and it's not just me. I can say that, but you know what? It's like people want to see the competition between her and I, and it's not about that. And unfortunately, it just actually escalated to this point that to go in an aggressive way, and that's way too much.
Do you think George had a part in that though? How he was talking to you and talking about Anfisa and what he was going through? Do you think it was he was kind of probing you kind of to like say something maybe?
Yeah, it's like I was thinking that he was actually coming to us and like, oh, defend me, because we did it before with Danielle and Mohammed. We defend Danielle so much. I don't know. It wasn't our business, but it's like I see someone taking advantage of the process, and like everybody else, they have an opinion, and that's why we're sitting in there to give our opinion. Maybe it's not what people are expecting, but I'm not gonna lie, just to make people like me.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for him. I did feel bad for him, and she was never around us. She was like in a different room. She never wanted to talk to us, and he was the only one there talking so bad about his wife and saying how much she took advantage of him and all those things. And I'm like, okay, I made jokes because that's how I break the ice, but it was the worst jokes I made. And he was coming and all the time talking bad about her. So we felt bad about it. And I think, of course, I take responsibility of what I said. But I think George actually made all the situation worse because we felt bad for him.
Right.
And seeing how
he was,
he... Oh, sorry.
Sorry. And he was talking bad about her, so you're trying to just and listen to him and support him. Yeah.
Right.
So
And seeing kind of his characteristics on the show, now that you watch back, do you see like, oh, maybe I might have did the wrong thing, kind of take his side? Because now on the show you see him like, not
He's
telling the
switched
truth a
up
lot.
completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
You only see one perspective.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we see it in that moment. And right now, like during the season, Anfisa was, it's a whole different perspective of her.
Yeah.
Right.
So you felt more for her than George.
But at the same time, it's not that I feel bad about George. It's just like even with watching this season, because that's the only time that we get to actually know about these couples, and like we get to see them on the show, like you guys, and one time at the tell-all. So we don't know much about them, and unfortunately, it's sad that we judge out of like what happened in there. But I'm not saying that it's only George's fault.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's just you cannot change that much, and like I think both have something in there, and. I don't know. It just is crazy, and he's trying to take all that back. But
Now, before we
can't.
hop off of this subject with George and Anfisa, I want to know: do you feel like there was some truth to what George was saying last tell-all? Because he came this tell-all completely opposite, a new man, defending his wife.
Yeah.
Do you think there was any truth to what he was saying, and he's just covering up now, or
About like her job role.
about what she does?
well, the problem is that it's out there.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
something that you can't. It's just right there. You Google it and you find it. It's
Internet
not
is
about.
forever.
He's just trying to change that, but he already made a big mistake talking bad about his wife, and we follow into that too, and it sucks. But it's there. It's just. You can't avoid it. It's all on the internet.
Yeah,
So-
there's no coming back from there.
So out of all the couples, and this is for both all three of you, out of all the couples that you've seen from a fan perspective since you've seen the season now, what couple do you think would stay together if they weren't on TV?
Of the tell-all, of this
Of
season.
this season. Of this season.
Because a lot of it is, as we watch reality TV, a lot of the buy-in factor is because they're on TV, and so it almost feels like, well, for certain couples, it makes it easier to have their relationship because they're on TV. So do you think there are any couples that if they weren't on TV, they wouldn't still be together?
Well, I feel like if I have an opinion, it's probably going to be very biased because, Chantel and Pedro, I mean, kind of similar things have been uncovering and revealing themselves now, whether or not that's the case or not, but some of the same characteristics that I was forewarned of, or this type of person. And it doesn't make you a bad person, it just is who you are.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Like, this is what you do, this is how it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, hindsight, when you've invested your heart, time, money, it does suck.
Yeah.
So you think
But
Pedro's
possibly.
So you think Pedro's not in it for like love? He's more in it for the whole process. of
I
getting
think that he was. I think that there was, but I think there's a lot of stuff
Other
with
stuff.
family that
Yeah.
can't be departed from.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously I felt some of that as well, but my situation's completely different.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
for sure.
completely, but
Yeah.
there are some, I don't know, I just feel like I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And what about you, Russ?
That's a good question. I think it's a lot of them would be good. I mean, like Pao and I go through a lot, and I feel like our story. I mean, we're very honest in our and everything, and other times I think couplers are reaching for things.
Absolutely.
So that's all I have to say.
I mean,
Got it.
So some of them are-
Got it. You said a lot.
Yeah, so some of them are staying together kind of for the fame of the show brings.
And which makes sense because, like you said, you guys as both Molly and Russ and Paul, your storylines speak for themselves.
Yeah.
You don't have to make anything up because you're living like your real life, and we can definitely identify with that. But I think just hitting on Pedro and Chantel, I was shocked to find out like that they had this friendship with Louise and Pedro and David. I'm like, okay, what
is going on?
Because we never see any interaction or know that you guys are friends or anything like that from the show. And then the only time we get is the tell-all. So it's kind of interesting to see like the dynamics in everyone's relationships and who's friends with who.
So watching you on the tell-all, Molly, it looked like you didn't know that he was friends with, Luis was friends with both Pedro and David. Was that the first time you were finding out?
I had no idea that he spoke with David. I think he probably went back in through a group text message from the first time, and reached out trying to reach to men that he was comfortable reaching out to. But I don't think that it was, there's always one side. I mean, and there's the truth in both of us, So I was a little shocked, but I think once I was able to speak on, which most people could see, they, kind of had a difference of opinion. But
now, does Luis still have any contact with your brother Jess?
No.
Okay.
He's done.
He's the only one. Yeah. Because it seems like he's tried to reach out to everyone to tell his side of the story, and we saw that you obviously it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
From what you said, yeah. Okay.
And seeing like how they saw his side of the story from the tell-all. What is something that you would want what was something that you want the fans to know that wasn't shared, like in the tell-all, this last part?
I think just the time length. A lot of people have judged me thinking I only knew him for 2 months, and I would never ever make that move. One thing, and the second thing is that I take care of my kids. I'm an incredible mother, and my kids weren't never ever left there. So it wasn't like I had this strange man leaving my kids, and that's very real to me. Just some life experiences and things, we go through stuff, and I'm very, very strongly against leaving my kids with anybody, really. So even to be here, it's like, they know I was just on the phone, like, and that. And as far as all the other crap, who cares about age? Who cares about anything? Like, we all want the same thing, which is, I think you guys exemplify an amazing love. I mean, I've seen you guys. We bonded immediately when I met them. And they get what you can work through and how to do it, even though, and this Pao is beautiful. Like, she's such a great person, and I think sometimes perception and what things are portrayed are not always to the heart of the person. And that's what really matters. So, and that we're good people, and it's not that we just sort it out to be like, oh, we're going to be on the, who really cares? Like, I feel like a normal person.
We are not perfect.
We just happen to have a TV show that I think we're bold and full of superpower, because to put that on
seriously, I mean,
like I said, it's hard. I mean,
and that's a great point to make. I was talking earlier just about the way TLC approaches reality television is completely different from some of the other shows. I don't know if you guys watch reality TV or how you feel about that, but just kind of how the humanity, like the oneness of humanity, you can always find on like a TLC show, and particularly with 90 Day, because it's about love and we all want that. We're all on this journey. But you guys had a moment. I'm happy to hear, of course, about the way that you take care of your children. We didn't doubt that. It is a perception thing. But then the friendship that you guys have, because there was that moment at the tell-all where you were kind of talking to Anfisa just about the whole baby situation with her and George, and you tried to shed light on that and your experience on being a young mother, and you jumped in too, but it was like she wasn't really interested in hearing any other side. She was so closed off to it.
None of us cannot talk to them because they are really aggressive when they're answering. We are there because, and we talk is because we are asked to give our opinion. But if we were to give our opinion like Molly did immediately, it's like a defensive, like fighting to all of us, and that's the problem. It's not that we are judging them. It's just like, hey, as a viewer, as a fan of the show, because I'm a fan of the show too. I'm a fan of other couples as well. And we just have our opinion and our concern, but it's impossible to talk to them. So it make it really hard. We get along with all of the couples. Like, I haven't had any problem with any of the other couples. We get along, we talk, and immediately we bond. It's amazing.
And it seems like you two bonded especially. Can you talk a little bit about how that bond came about?
We just, as soon as we saw each other, I was already a fan. Like, I'm a fan of the show. Like, I never really knew, and then about it until I watched it, and I can tell she's genuine, and she does have that Latina, like, but it's confidence. It's not arrogance, and that's just, you should have that. But like I said, her heart is so beautiful, and she tries to be very kind. And I understand how you were saying, like, it was hard for people to get used to your style, and that you love your heels and you love your stuff, and I'm like, wow, she's so beautiful and confident, but she doesn't put off this thing to me at all that she's better than anyone. And I did receive that from someone else. So, it's And we just sat down and talked like we've known each other forever.
Now,
Perfect.
speaking of your Latina confidence, I wanted to know on a scale of 1 to 10 how awkward it was posing in front of your dad on the show. 10 being like the most awkward.
Well, my nipples were covered, you know? Yeah. I was covered a lot of paint. Of course, it was freezing in Bogota. Oh my goodness.
God.
It wasn't easy, but you know, when you get used to this and you know that you are not completely naked and like you're not just dancing or doing anything.
Right.
It's like, and my father, he's so open-minded and he's like, he see this, what I do as an art. So why do I have to feel uncomfortable when they're my parents and they will never gonna look at me in a different way. Oh, I'm glad that they were part of that and they were there to actually give support to my husband to feel more comfortable and let me be.
Yeah.
Right.
And Russ, you needed that support because you were not having it.
Well, he
At
was
all.
saying that my mom was making him feel
Yeah, I'd
uncomfortable.
say I was trying to stay calm, cool, but her mom was. She kept making the comments like, "Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was good with it. Like, let me just keep with that because you're
Yeah.
just gonna switch my. I
Makes
didn't
you
want
start
that.
to second guess
Yeah,
yourself.
so-
Like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be good with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely.
And so for Molly, I want to talk a bit because both couples, you guys have overcome a lot. Like I said, your truth definitely tells itself. So in particular, Molly, I think to see your response and your interactions with your daughters, I mean, especially Olivia, who we got to see on the tell-all, who's growing into this young woman. And one thing that I definitely can pride you on, because I always talk about myself. When I talk about myself, I talk about my mom and the way that I was raised. And so you see with Olivia, she has like this self-worth and this value to where she can give her opinion, where, you know, you let her talk to you and you guys can have a conversation. But how was it having to put all of that on Front Street and then deal with that rift and you guys having to kind of come back and sort that out as well?
Well, you know, as a teenager turning 18 in your last year of school, there's all kind of influence into how you're responding to life, period.
Yeah.
Like, we're so lost. And then couple that with hormones with female, come on.
Yeah.
You know already, like the teenager into this thing. And so, you know, she was going to turn 18 in September. She already had this idea of life. She's wanted to live in LA most of her life. Her father's from here. So she always came here on vacation and doing things. And she's like, I'm going to live there. So she lives this and she was an only child for a long time.
Yeah.
Very well taken care of. I mean, and so she just felt like she was being left over, but not. So it's a combo of someone's coming in my spot, but I don't really want to be there anymore anyway.
Yeah.
And I
You
feel
know.
like a lot of people have something to say about her being 18 and having so much say so, but at the same time, I feel like she's really mature. Like when you would have these conversations, like she wasn't just on the surface about anything. She would get in deep and like really talk to you about her feelings and your feelings and what was going in the house. So
Well, I think from, you know, just of having a family environment, we have talk about it Tuesday. Like, we don't brush things under the rug. We don't cover things. I'm very open with my kids, and I feel like when you do that, you kind of can build that trust and bond and engagement. So if she does have something going on, she's going to say, Mom, this is what I did, you know, but I need you, not try to cover it. So, you know, just being open-minded with kids is what you got to do.
right.
Absolutely.
Did Kinsley ask? Sorry, guys. Did Kinsley ask any questions once Louise was gone?
She also is very sharp. I mean, a lot of times people would make fun of her and stuff, but she does have a fragmented chromosome, and it's a processing disorder. So everybody's like, she's got black friends. She should know how to do that baby's hair. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
come on,
Yeah.
you guys. They don't get it. When you have a child like that, there's good and bad days. You can't just put a brush in it or however the case may be. You never know what you're going to get. But she's very intellect. Like, her mind is crazy, and she can talk for herself and say exactly what she said. She wasn't fed any lines.
Yeah.
Right.
But the very next day, she might have a problem putting her shoe on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the dynamic. It's so drastic. But she's a cool kid.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
Molly.
And very smart. And
Yeah.
going through this whole process, the 90-day process, are you more cautious now with who you bring around or who you date?
You know, I thought I was being cautious before, you know, and but prior to Luis, I had been in a very long relationship with Kinsley's father and not really had anybody. I have friends, but it just was like, I knew him. We Skyped every day. He knew them. He used to take care of his nephew at home. So it wasn't this introduction of, you're insta dad, this is your kid. I felt like that every night we were Skyping and we were talking and doing things as if you were doing anyway.
Right.
So Molly, in hindsight, what advice would you give other single moms who are trying to get into the dating scene?
Just really know yourself and know what you will and won't put up with. And if there's a sign, usually you got to go for it. I mean, I had a book one time. It was called "Is It God or Is It Gas?" Like when you get that gut feeling, it's really crazy, right? But like, come on.
So true.
Is it God or is it gas?
Yes.
And
you know,
did you have those feelings in the beginning? Like
not in the
those gut
beginning.
feelings?
Honestly, from being 3 hours away from someone by plane and never ever once questioning like you're at work or the things that we go through, like you're not where you said you are you with this girl, are you with that, or like things that might make you feel insecure when you're away from someone in a relationship. And that never even crossed my mind. I was like, I feel more comfortable with this man 3 hours away by plane and like so confident about this. So you know.
So I have another question. So Paul, you modeling and your fitness line and all of that, with the announcement today, are you going to continue to do that to the very, very end, or are you going to take a break?
Well, I think I will do it until I have wrinkles.
Get it. Own it.
No, I would say I'm more focused right now into my into fitness.
Yeah.
I'm actually launching my website soon, and I want to be training people online. I'm a personal trainer aside.
Oh, nice.
So I do a little bit of everything. I think I like to not just focus on one thing. I actually try to enjoy a lot of things. Life is only one, and there's so many things that you can do. But if someone hire me to do a photo shoot with my big belly,
Yes.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Next time, maybe I will do a photo
Girl,
shoot
get
with
a
my
check.
husband.
Yes.
We're up to par. Yeah.
With you
I
guys
love
starting
that.
your own family, Russ, we don't really hear much about your family. How are they taking everything in? Because we've already got Paula's side.
My family's excited, very excited. It's their second grandson, or we don't know the baby yet. I want a boy, right? So they'll be the second
Grandchild.
grandbaby,
Yeah.
and they're excited. They really are. They're going to be hosting a baby shower for us. So we're going to Oklahoma soon.
Oh my gosh.
So they're excited.
That's amazing. And as for you guys are concerned, we do get to see you work through so much of your relationship. How much of a factor have you thought about how, a baby may change your dynamic or how you guys continue to build together?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be butting heads on how we want to approach everything. But, starting young, we want speaking Spanish all the time. So I need to work on my Spanish.
Yeah.
5 years. One day.
Still the same as we left Colombia.
Now, how do you feel a baby, we can talk about this, a baby would affect the relationship that you have with Juan if you still do have one with him?
Oh, I actually got a nice message from him,
Oh,
and
nice.
actually congratulated
Wow.
Ross.
Oh.
I was in shock. He actually said
didn't see
good
that.
things. He said good thing. He's really happy, and hopefully, I believe that this time, knowing that we are not going anywhere, this time he's going to
Accept it.
Yes, and he's gonna stop like trying to tear us apart. I think he's just jealous.
Yeah.
He's just jealous, and sometimes even he throw me to the bus too.
Yeah.
Like because he's angry at me sometimes because I abandoned him, and he's blaming on him. But I think this time is no time. There is no room for like.
And you know
Yeah.
what? Babies tend to soften people. And so maybe he'll be Uncle Juan. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Focus it on that.
But have
Look
you
at Russ
ever,
is like, no.
Maybe, Russ, maybe. Maybe.
Talking baby.
now, you've known Juan for almost 10 years or about 10 years.
More
now.
than 10
More than
years,
10 years.
yes.
How do you think he will actually, I don't know how to ask this.
I don't know what
I don't
you're
want to
going
get
to
too
ask.
personal. Never mind. I'm not going to get too personal.
What?
Now I wanna know.
What are you gonna
Like what?
Nothing.
okay.
It's okay.
Just ask if she doesn't
okay.
want to respond.
If she
you don't
doesn't want to
have
respond, she'll
answer.
say, I don't want to answer.
Okay, with Russ and Juan and the whole baby situation, would he ever be anything more than just like a friend to the baby? Is that too personal of a question? Would he ever be a godfather to you, or to the child, or
Your Russ
is that too
like,
personal? Because some
No,
people
no,
think
no,
like,
no. That's fine. I think I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to
Put
Russ.
him in that situation.
Yes, I wouldn't put Ross in that situation. Like, and I hope Juan doesn't ask me. I don't.
Have you ever known Juan to actually get over a sticky situation? Like, because I mean, he's in drama in the show, but I'm sure he's been in drama before in his life with you in it. Has he ever actually been the bigger person before, or are you just hoping, wishing on a falling star that it will happen this time?
Juan is difficult even for me. It's difficult, but no, I wouldn't do that to Ross. I wouldn't name him as a godfather because, oh no, that means that he doesn't want him close yet.
Yeah. You have to respect
Even I
that.
told him he wanted to visit, and he was like, he's not coming to this apartment,
Right.
so I can't.
Not at this time.
And especially what he was saying at the tell-all, like saying that you have he wanted you to marry someone else and all this stuff. Do you have anything to say about that a little bit? Like,
I know what he's saying, but I think he's just trying to create more like to make my husband feel uncomfortable. There is someone in Colombia, but someone that I dated a long time ago, and I just don't care about it. But he just trying to okay, there is someone else for you in here if nothing happened with Ross. And I'm like, I just laugh because it's ridiculous to go to that point. I wasn't expecting for him to say something like that. I'm surprised that he actually said something like that.
Do you think his accusations like weaken you guys' friendship?
I think at this point, if he doesn't stop, I don't think I can actually keep like my friendship because I'm having a baby. I don't want that. I don't want that. I love my husband and I want my husband with me, and I'm sorry for him, but if I have to respect our relationship, if he doesn't respect it, he have to be gone. Like,
Absolutely, that's fair. And in terms of, I want to talk a little bit about kind of the 90-day process, because we came in and we just got to figure it out, I guess, as we go along. I think a lot of people don't realize how big of a process that it is, and the money and the time that goes into it. I mean, looking back at all of your experiences, what do you have to say about it? Would you discourage it? Is it something that you think people should be open to, or kind of what do you say to that?
I think it's all just depends on the person and the experience. You know what I mean? Because I can't discourage it. I can't. And I think that you can find love. Obviously, you know, there's plenty of people who've made it, and it's not that you go there searching for that; it just happens. So I don't discourage it at all, because I think that having the opportunity to have immigrants here in our country just creates a wealthier place and enriches our culture more, you know. So I mean, whether it works or not, you know, and let's face it, a lot of people do want to come here, so I'm not knocking somebody if that was the case either, which it might be for me, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, why wouldn't somebody try that, even though it sucks once you've invested a ton of money?
would you
I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't change it.
Would you ever do the whole process over again if you met someone else that really, caught your heart?
I might go there. You know, I want to travel. I want to be out and about and learn the world. So maybe I'll go somewhere else. I don't know. But I would. I mean, but it would be definitely more if I. I don't know. I said that quick, right?
You're thinking about it like.
I will say this: it certainly has opened the door for a lot of people internationally, and not just different people that do stuff too, like that could aid in my business or want a store here or want to come. You know, just it's been interesting.
And so, Molly, now that people know that you're officially single, are you being bombarded by
DMs?
Gentlemen?
Or are you dating
callers?
right now? Someone in particular?
I have a really good friend that I'm seeing and been with, and he's fantastic. So, and I've had a lot of people, but you know what I do? I just say thank you, because I want to interact with the fans and be thankful that they do watch the show and that it's created, you know, such a great television space, you know, and people love it.
You know what I admire about you as well is that you keep knocking down the age myth. Like, love knows no number, and you continue to say that. And even when people are commenting like, oh, he's too young or this or that, you're like, no, I'm not too old. They're not too young. Love is love. And I have to, like, applaud you for that, because it's so true.
Well, it's just that way with anything, with our gender, with whatever, you know, equality for everybody. Like, it doesn't matter. And I see that. I think if the tables were turned and I was the female and he was in my space, it would be different.
Right.
Let's face it, that's the general rule, right?
Right.
The men are fine, the women are younger,
Yeah.
but I've seen my parents make it work. You know, my stepmother was 25 when I was 13. And they've been together almost 30 years
Oh, wow.
through thick and thin,
Yeah.
you know, and it happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Spirit doesn't know age.
Yes.
You know,
love
and when you
that.
collide, be it good or bad, you don't know that.
Yeah.
It's just the feeling.
Yeah.
So you don't
that.
think about it.
I love that answer.
Yeah, so deep. So inspiring.
Right?
Yeah.
So speaking of dating, you posted a couple pictures on your Instagram previously of some friends. Are any of those in particular the person you're dating right now?
I don't even know what's up there. I got all these messages
There's one that
from
looked-
2 days ago, and I think I was with my makeup artist,
Okay.
Nat.
Okay.
But several times I've posted photos with him, and immediately everybody's like, "Oh, upgrade, he's fine," and I'm like, "He has absolutely no interest in me. It's all good. He beats my face. It's fine." But possibly. I don't know. I don't post a lot. I do. And people are like, "Oh my God, could you stop posting pictures of yourself?" I'm like, "Well, who the heck else am I supposed to put?
Right,
pictures
right,
of?"
right.
Yeah.
That's your
Like my
social
bra?
media.
Yeah.
Living Ray Lingerie.
Because there was a picture, and a lot of the fans were speculating who it was because he did look similar to Luis, a fellow with a beard. And this was a couple of weeks ago. So a lot of the fans were like, "That's Luis. She's
Yeah.
back with
Oh,
Luis."
no.
So I think
Yeah.
a lot of fans were just wondering.
So we haven't seen him.
No,
Oh.
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe some digging, maybe.
Like I said, I'm not sure.
Maybe.
What about you two? What are your thoughts on just kind of that? I mean, I guess having lived it and then having seen these other couples and people play to an audience or not, what are your thoughts on kind of going through that 90-day process?
Like, well, we hired an attorney to handle all that paperwork because I wasn't going to do that. And actually, that's how we got looped in with the show. Is
The first season.
the first season
We started
the
it.
production was reaching, the production was reaching out to our attorneys or
Oh,
different
wow.
attorneys
Okay.
going through the K1 process.
Wow.
And we decided to go through the K1 after I moved back from Colombia. And I'd always wanted to get out of Oklahoma. Like that was really what I've always wanted to do. So, you know, just having the stable job back in Oklahoma, I brought Pal back. And that's kind of our story. But you know, then you have the other side that you see that where are their intentions?
Right.
And
Of course, people judging me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long process.
Yeah.
When we applied for the K1 visa, it took us like 8 months to actually come to US.
Wow.
It was
Oh, wow.
8 months. And adding to come to the country and having cameras following you around and like, it's a lot to take. It's a lot to take. But I'm glad I have to do it again. But I think it's an amazing experience and like being able to share it with everybody because they have a bad stigma about like we come here for the wrong reasons and I've been trying like people have judged me so much about like, oh, I just want the green card, which I already have. And I try to change that image, you know. I'm still with my husband and it's a long process and it's totally worth it for people who try it.
Yeah.
Like if I say just go do it, but do it with the right reasons because it's not fair for the Americans to say it that way. It's not fair to do it like just to take advantage of the process.
but sometimes I would say 90 days is not enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
It's
it's very
not.
definitive. 90 days is not enough. Like it was so much stress on us, and we knew we were not going to back down. But you know, what about those that have doubt?
Yes.
Do you think there's any couples, and if so, which one, that are in it for the citizenship, not in it for the right reasons, for love?
But I think they are not already together. I
Yes,
think they
at
already
this
broke
point.
up. Yeah,
That's
right.
about
Like
the only one
Mohammed
I
and
can think
Danielle, that was
Yeah, this is a lot.
that was obvious. That was huge. And I don't know. I think there are couples that actually got divorced, but I'm not sure about like they actually did it for the wrong reasons. It's
reason.
not that.
That's what
I'm not
I'm-
sure
Like the
about
ones right
it.
now in the season,
in the season.
happily ever after.
Particularly if you look at, I mean, we see and we talk so much about Nicole and Asin, and even at the tell-all, everybody's responses.
I had
To
concern
some
with,
of his-
with
you
him
know?
and his job and his work.
Yeah.
And I've gone through not working, and it's difficult, and it's difficult in the relationship. So if she's providing for him for 2 years now, like, what's he really going to be doing when he gets here
Right.
if he can't?
And I felt on the tell-all he didn't really answer. Like he feels like I haven't worked in 2 years and that's okay. But when I come to the U.S., I'm just going to automatically get a job. Like you haven't, not that you haven't been using your mind, but you haven't been working. So how are you just all of a sudden going to jump in and everything's going to be
how you cannot
miraculously
get
different?
a job in your own country
Exactly.
for 2 years, and then you're gonna find a job which, when you move here, you're not allowed to work.
Right.
So you have
you're
your
gonna
green
be at
card.
so it take a while in order for you to be able to work. So, but you know what? We only see what you guys see. So it's hard like to judge for that.
But what I see flags.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
You think he's in it for like the wrong reasons? He's not really in it for love.
I want to believe, because Nicole is a wonderful girl.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She deserves. She's really in love. But I just hope that he's going to stick with her, because I don't know. He reminds me of someone else on the show, and that's terrible. I hope they can make it work.
Yeah, and they've had so much drama too. Do you guys think that they'll actually get married? Like they'll be able to actually get married?
Nicole is really persistent.
Yes, we say that all the time.
It's so funny. There was this.
So you think she's gonna make it happen?
Oh yeah, she will. No matter what.
No matter what.
Hopefully they do. She
Molly,
deserves it.
on the tell-all, you actually said you were asked about how you have to take care of Luis for 10 years, or you're still responsible, but you're pretty adamant that it wasn't going to happen. Is there a reason, like you already know you're not responsible anymore, or is there a loophole?
The loophole is in the benefit of the immigrant, and there's 3 reasons, and one is violence, impoverished conditions if you're going back to that, if there's absolutely no way you can go back to that, and or that the marriage was fake. So I think that he tried to try 2 out of 3 of those reasons, because you only see certain things, but it never was. I said, 200 takes 150 all day if I was going to do something like crazy to this man. You know, like it's not this situation.
Yeah.
So I think that when that happens, they don't, like I said, what I do know is that the United States, they try to work very hard to protect the citizens, and because of, unfortunately, so much mishap, I think it sucks, because I'm a human, and I'm for everyone. So, but they do protect the citizens, so they're going to see everything. They're going to see that he left before. They're going to see just things.
Right.
I think his actions too will speak for themselves.
Absolutely. The show doesn't make you say those things.
Exactly.
And you can show footage from the show, correct?
Oh,
To help-
absolutely.
okay.
That would be core.
Yeah.
And a little bit about Luis. His brother did a similar thing, because we kind of heard a little bit about that. Was it that his brother also, because his brother's here also?
His brother's, but his wife is Dominican, so
Okay.
they knew each other.
Okay.
They kind of were matched at an early age, pretty much. So that he didn't do that. I'm telling you, his family is very religious. They're very, his parents are pastors. He comes from an incredible home. So that's why I don't want to say it's this or it's that. It's not fair, and I don't want to talk trash or be whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, were there some obvious things? Yes, but at the end of the day, everybody wants to be in love. And I mean, he is younger. I would want the experience. Why not? Like, I
Right.
probably would be like, yeah, because we had some really incredible moments. I went down there on a mission trip and took all kinds of supplies and toiletries and presents and coloring books to the camp, and those were the things that really touched my heart, that I loved. When you take pizza to a group of children, and they're like so excited over pizza.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you just rained down this amazing food when we're so accustomed to having it whenever. So for me, that was part of the love too, just the whole family. I'm from a huge family, and it is very important to me. So
Yeah, we don't see a lot of that on the show at all.
And it's good to see how close you are with your brother, honestly. My mom, anytime she watches the show, she's like, I hope you and your sisters are that close when you get older. Right now, we kind of bicker, but,
we
it's
used
really
to. I mean, it is what it is, but he's an incredible guy. It's funny because half the time I'm like, okay, I'm going to answer this. And it's like, oh my God, we love you. You're great. And can we talk about bras? But let's get down to the real truth. Is your brother single? Does he have
he's nice
Instagram?
looking.
I'm like, no, you guys. He's such a country guy. I mean, he barely has a Facebook. Like, he just does his thing.
definitely.
And speaking of bras, can you talk a little bit about your lingerie line? And are you expanding out to the West? Is that why part of the reason why you're in LA?
Well, we came out here obviously for this panel, but while I was here, I made it a business trip as well because I want to. We really want a Livy Ray in every state. I feel like our store represents every woman, and no matter your size or anything, and you could find something there. And we work with helping you from the inside out. Our slogans, let us lift you up, and it's really not about just a bra.
Right.
So every woman should have this opportunity, and why should any of us have to shop separately for intimates?
Right.
Because that really already puts a stigma on you shouldn't be wearing that. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just a thing that we're wanting to do everywhere. And I've been in business for a long time, but you can teach anybody how to sell, and I could franchise it. It's a male-dominated industry, but you can't teach people how to, love people and have the passion for it. But it's an awesome store. I really do pride myself in that. And I already told Pal, I'm like, you want to do a shoot? Let's do some maternity bra.
That's a great idea.
I was thinking,
I'm doing it.
I'm doing this. She's like, I'm in.
Did you have we know you already had a show prior to 90 Day. Did you have a spike in business after the show?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, because people wanted the experience. I mean, let's face it, customer service is lost in a lot of ways, unless you're shopping at a super, super high-end store, designer, boutiques. But not everyone can shop there, so when you bring that experience to people, they're coming. I mean, we're, the mecca for fantastic bras and other fun stuff. So, but it was nuts. I don't even really remember filming some of that because it's like your work, film, and you never stop. And I'm like, wow, what were we doing on that day? It's so fast.
Nice, good for you. And for you too, Russ and Paul, I mean, we know, of course, that you're doing your thing all over social media. You've been able to kind of, build a career there too. But what's next for you guys? Are you guys planning to maybe do a spin-off show? Are you guys going to stick with Happily Ever After? Or where will we see you next? I mean, now that we've got the baby news.
Well, as I said before, I'm going to focus on the website. I'm going to be training people online because I'm not going to be able to do much eventually. But if they want us to give us a spin-off, we're happy to come back. We love to be part of 90 Day Fiancé. It's an amazing experience with the good and the bad, but it's amazing. We're able to share the story. So if they want us back, we will be happy to come back.
As fans, we're going to want you back because it can't just be this.
Yeah.
We have to know what happens now. Right? Plus 3. Something.
We got one more.
Seriously, I love that. That's it.
Are there any couples right now that both of you guys talk to or are close to of the other couples?
I check on Nicole periodically, and I've done business with her as well.
And how is she doing right now?
She's doing fine. I mean, seemingly same. Like she said, she's persistent. She's a bulldog, but she's a cool cat. She's going to handle it. I have no doubt that she's going to handle her. So,
No, we don't.
Not really close to anyone.
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
We used to talk with Lauren and Alexis a lot, but I don't know. They went away.
I do want to know. I know you guys saw the fight between Chantel's brother River and Pedro. Who did you think started the fight? Are you Team Pedro or Team River?
I'm Team Pedro.
Team Pedro.
Really, yeah. It's hard to be in his position. Chantel and Pedro, they love each other. I can see that. I know Pedro loved his wife and she loved him so much. But the problem there is to have her, like the family, being involved in the situation, and it's making it hard. When people are just judging you without no reason, without proof, you can handle so much, People attacking you all the time, and why you want to be surrounded with these people. Yeah. If it's making it worse, your situation. So it's really hard for them.
Yeah.
You agree?
I'm on Team Pedro as well.
Team Pedro.
I think he could.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think they could use a
agree.
distance. I mean, us moving to Miami has brought us closer together.
Okay. Yeah, because we were trying to figure out, maybe they do need that kind of space away from the family to, really get into themselves.
Yeah. They already don't like Pedro, so why to bring him in that situation?
And to take them on a vacation and all that stuff. You're constantly putting them together all the time. It seems like there's never a break that they're not together.
Yeah.
Right.
And to be honest, I felt so bad about Pedro's sister, because welcome someone, if I I know I'm inviting someone to my house, but I'm going to attack you. Like in my mind,
she
I'm going to
barely
do that. I
speaks
think
English.
and she doesn't understand anything what's going on in there. I can tell. Even if Chantel's mother speaks slow in English, that girl, Nicole is her name, right?
Yeah.
Nicole, yeah.
She's not understanding anything. And I think the miscommunication, since they went to Dominican Republic, it has been really bad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fair for them to actually do that. Like, it wasn't fair for Pedro and his sister to be in that situation, because if you welcome someone, you try to fix the situation, not try to attack them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
What did
agree.
you think of the storyline as far as trying to decide if this is really his sister or if it's just a secret wife from Dominican and he's just trying to get over on Chantel?
Look, I'm really close to my brother.
Yeah.
I dance with my brother in a way that people are going to think that, oh my gosh, I'm cheating on Russ. It's that connection, you
Right.
know? I think they're siblings.
So it's like a cultural thing.
Cultural
you think?
difference.
Yeah.
We're really close to each other. And I understand Pedro is really close to his sister. It's nothing weird.
Yeah.
It's just drama. Yeah.
Do you guys think that Annie should go back to Thailand at this point?
I'm looking at Molly like,
Honestly, if he was doing as well as he says he was when he was there, he should go too.
Yeah.
I think that would be beneficial for
You
both
know,
of them.
I think it would be great for both of them
Yeah.
too.
we
Yeah.
talked to them on the tell-all, because that's the only time that we get to talk to them, and they seem so nice, and they
Yeah.
actually look like, this is the difference between ages and all those things, but you know what, they look like they love each other. Annie loved him, and they both are in love. I can see that. It's just they're struggling. It's normal, you know. You just want to make it work, even if you don't have money to pay bills. But come on, he loved her,
Yeah.
and they just
But-
gotta make it work.
But Paul, do you think that David's doing enough to find a job, though? Like, he thinks that, at least from what we're seeing, is that some jobs are beneath him. And I made the comment last week, $10 an hour is better than no dollars an hour.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got lecture as well.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you're saying.
So do you think he's doing enough? Because from our perspective, we're only seeing him borrow, and not really finding a job, which is very similar to Azan. So you already have Annie here. I think you would have to go 10 times harder to look for a job. I mean, you have her in a storage unit right now.
Yeah, I think Annie knew what she was into.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have money to pay the
Dowry?
so it's like she knew, but I think he needs to try a little bit harder, because no matter what, he's have to protect her and try to give her what he promised her.
Yes.
And maybe a little bit harder
Yeah.
to get that job.
Yeah.
And Molly, we see David's relationship with his daughter Ashley, and we saw your relationship with Olivia, obviously. How do you feel about Ashley and her feelings and what all is going on there?
I think they're very valid. I mean, you know, we don't have to love it. We don't have to like it, but we have to respect it. And that's the truth, because these girls, you know, they have feelings. I was in a situation of a broken marriage, so I get it. You know, it's not always the easiest, but it's good to, you know.
Get through it. And I think David and Annie, too, was a couple that when you see, you just are taken in with them because they're so likable. And Annie, she seems so like genuine and so sweet. And so I was rooting for them, but now it's kind of like, all right, David, if you can't get it together, then you can't get it together. But what did you guys think about Ashley's accusations around like Annie meeting him like in this
Like
kind of
brothel type thing.
situation?
Well, we didn't know where that source came from. So it's an accusation that
It's
If
just
you don't have
made-
proof,
you
shouldn't talk about it, like, because it's not true until you actually have something to prove us all that, she was working in that. I don't think so. It's just, I think she has so much resentment towards her father that maybe that's a way to hurt him in a way, you know? And plus, Annie said some things too that probably he get them into like, I'm defending myself with this and I'm trying to get you down, but I don't know, it's the resentment I can see. That's all.
Yeah. And for you, you've managed to not I don't think you've ever been tied to. Nobody said anything scandalous like the way they talk about, Anfisa. She may be on the way. You never have had like that sort of drama. Have you had to do anything particular to combat that, or it's just because that's not your life?
She stays away from scandal. I'll answer for you.
Yeah. Right? The biggest scandal was doing the calendar shoot.
Yeah.
But aside
Other
from
than
that,
no.
There are a photo in there that my husband, no one has seen that photo yet. But every time that I look at the calendar and my husband is next to me, he looks at me like, baby, one time. Yeah, it's a photo a little bit more like risque than the body paint. Just one.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it at all. But it just,
One
you
too
know
many.
Right. Do you guys have any advice as far as just staying out of it? I think with the tell-all coming out and 90 Day being such a huge show, everybody wants to build scandal. Yeah. Everybody wants to find dirt. And you guys have to actively combat that because, like you said, you're regular people living your real lives. Like, how do you deal with that, or is there any advice for that?
Just ignore them.
Yeah,
Because,
that's a big part.
look, no matter what you do, even for me, no matter what I do, I have my haters in there. And they're just trying to call me names and say whatever. And I'm like, I'm done taking it personal.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't define me. I have a lot of people who support me and believe in me, and like it's more than what the people that hate me. But just don't care because you know what? At the end of the day, you know who you are, and he knows who I am, and that's all that matters.
Do you ever see yourself making amends with Anfisa after like seeing this tell-all and everything that's happened with you guys? Do you see you guys?
I'm gonna interject.
I think being cordial.
Sweetheart. I think that she would. I don't think that Anfisa would. She's not interested in having resolution on anything with anybody.
She didn't try to be friends with us
From the beginning.
From the beginning, we tried to be friends. I went to, we went to the special room they had for her in the first tell-all because she didn't want to hang out with any of the other cast. And we tried like, okay, let's. And she immediately, her attitude was like, ugh. And I was like, it starts since day one. And I'm like, you know what? If you don't care to be our friend, I'm not going to care about you anymore.
Yeah.
I just prefer like to keep my distance with her. I try. And I know I say something. It's just, I always open my mouth. But it's like you try and you try. But like even after I said I asked like for forgiveness of what I said, but even hearing all those things, she was ready to just come after me and attack me. So it's no reason for me to actually keep begging for her forgiveness because at this point now she already said a lot of hurtful things to me, even worse than what I actually said to her. And I don't know. I just prefer to keep my distance with her.
Do you think it's like she's acting this way also is because of her relationship with George, or do you think it might be that she's in it for maybe a different reason other than love? Like she's doing it for fame to be in this show.
What she said in season at the beginning, that's what she wanted. She said a long time ago, I want people to see me and recognize me on the street. And like she wanted to do, I think, Playboy too. Like she wanted to do all those things. So, and you know, the show is huge right now.
Yes.
So you got to keep that image.
Exactly.
I need to know, what's your favorite hair color?
I think I like the red one better.
I am obsessed with the red, yes.
The black looks really good though.
It
too.
does.
I had
all
to
look
change it
good.
because I can't keep it right now that I'm pregnant with all the chemicals. So that's why I went back to my natural color. But
And Molly, I really do believe that blue is your color. I don't know why I just said that, but honestly, like every time I see you in blue or anything blue, I just really think it like makes you pop. I just had to say that today.
That's so funny. Well, both times they picked the blue and they're like, what are you going to wear for interview? I'm like, these are all my choices. I'm like, no, don't go for it. Then they're like, that one. I'm like, no.
It's a good one.
So as we get,
Thank you.
as we get closer to running out of time, I do want to ask a little bit about what's next for each of you. So Molly, I know that you're working on your company. You might be dating a little bit. What else is out there and what else is next for you?
That's pretty much it. Just going into the fall with that. And we were selected to do Oxford Fashion Week in London for my business. So I'll be going overseas.
Oh, congrats.
We showed in New York a couple weeks ago. And I'm going to be at CurvyCon in New York during Fashion Week doing a bra presentation there as well. So just traveling.
That's
My kids get to
awesome.
go to, you know.
Perfect.
That's
So I'm
awesome.
pumped up. Maybe some more TV, some more crazy. Who knows?
Yes.
We'll be watching.
I mean,
You're really a fan favorite. For
Yes.
real. Everyone's rooting for Molly.
and then Russ.
We are rooting for you.
I actually don't know what you do for work personally, but what's next for you?
Well, I'm an engineer for an infrastructure company. We inspect the integrity of the infrastructure, but part-time I'm also helping out with Pao and her website. And
Nice.
that's really what we're working on right now is she's putting together all the programs and we'll be launching really soon.
Have you named the website, released it yet?
Oh, it's Super Pow Fit.
Super
Super Pow.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
And you know
And
when a release date would be? Or-
Oh, I think next week.
Oh, okay.
I think
So
we're
pretty
doing it
soon.
next
I've
week.
got some work to do.
Come on, girl.
Is it a subscription service?
Oh yeah, it's actually my Instagram. They have the link in there.
Okay.
And they, as soon as the website is launched, people are gonna get a message because I already have a lot of people requesting.
Yeah.
And you know what? As soon as I posted in there that it's gonna be launching soon, I got so many people that make me so happy because they believe in I can help them.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for that. And plus, we got to figure this out about the parenthood.
Yeah.
How
Right.
we're gonna deal with this because
Yes.
we have a lot of books to read.
We have a lot of preparing to do.
Right.
That's for sure.
Well, we are for sure excited for all of you guys. I
Yeah.
mean, we could talk here forever. I wish we had more time, but we're just about what, Stacey?
Is there anything you guys wanted to share about the upcoming tell-all, the part 2, that kind of maybe happens? Anything you guys
They're
want
like-
to tell the fans? Like, hey, if you see this, this is what really went down. Anything you guys
All
want
I
to share
remember
with us?
was being caught in the crossfire.
She was next to me.
I was like,
She was next to me. Oh my god. It's gonna get a little bit crazier.
Is it going to get physically crazy?
Oh, you have to watch it.
Okay. Well, we'll take it. We'll definitely leave it there. We are excited. Like I said, I mean, we genuinely appreciate you guys'
Yeah.
story.
Thank
Thanks
you
so
so
much for
much.
coming
Thanks so
by.
much.
And
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
So
I'm
much.
sure you guys are going to stay on TV. We're
Yeah.
going to continue to watch each and
Yeah.
every one of you. So thank you
Thank
you
you.
again. For all our AfterBuzzers, that is our time now. You can stick around because we'll come back and talk about the exclusive tell-all. And then, of course, you can see us next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. live here. I am Keith Andre, all over social media at Keith_Andre.
Guys, Linda Antwi, I am so happy. Thank you guys so much for coming. If you guys have any more questions, we are covering the tell-all part 1. Hit me up, Linda is so girly, all across social media.
And I'm Alex Bowers. You can follow me all over at Hey Alex Bowers.
And I'm Stacey Olives. You guys can catch me on Monday nights on Florida Bama Shore, if you guys see that. It's at 8 o'clock. We do the after show here. And yeah, thanks so much for coming,
you.
guys.
Yes,
you
you
guys
are amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
You're tuned in.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
90 Day Fiancé.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.